Well, I won't bore you with the money questions, but just to hook the five viewers who might watch this. So how much did you make last month?
50K, 50K.
Cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, usually I'm not too public about it because like money is just I guess for the newbies they get too focused on it, and it's like there's a lot of things that went involved to doing that. It's like you got to build the account up. You can't just go in the market. Oh, now I got 50K. It doesn't work like that. So it's a lot of building up and sizing up, sizing down when you're not doing as well or not in the zone or traveling or whatever, and then sizing up. And then on top of that, if you're starting out with not that much money, you can't even size up. So like you gotta focus on learning and uh doing just being in the game and keeping yourself in the conversation with yourself, like in the market, keeping yourself in the conversation with the market. Because if you take time off or you just decide to quit or you take a job and you get complacent and with that job and like now that's your career now and that's cool. Maybe you like it. Then uh yeah, or just you blow up or something. But with the $2,000 account, you blow up. It's you got to go work, get it back. So like these are things that I went through over since 2016, and now I'm able to finally make a lot of money like that, and it's just improving. The beauty about trading is that it just compounds. So now with what I'm doing, it's just gonna hopefully it just keeps growing from here. 50,000 is it's cool, but there's a lot more. I left a lot on the table, put it that way. So
Yeah. Well, that's probably a good feeling. It's bittersweet, I guess.
yeah. Uh, not really, not really. I don't think so. Like you're never gonna get all the moves completely. It's like I was thinking today. There's some faders, especially in the pre-market. You know how it goes. So Sam trades a lot in the pre-market now. Sam, you're like it's been a while, so you stuck around, man. So I'm yeah, I'm excited to see where you go, because you still got a lot of growth and you've done all the things that you've needed to do to give yourself a shot to be successful at this. So like I'm excited for that. But in the pre-market, there's a lot of faders that they fade. I don't know. They give the whole thing back and sometimes they go red, like today CYCC. But like I just get like a good chunk of that and I'll reshort it. But at bounces, but ultimately they go down. So like I did leave a lot on the table technically, but I did double up on the bounce. So I like to double up on the bounces, triple up on the bounces, rather than just wait out the whole thing and let it give it all back. Which I used to do a lot too. I used to, like me, Michael Matthews. I think I've noticed that too in the old videos that we've done. Um, you just give it, let it bleed out completely. And that's one way to trade. But like as I grow as a trader, I figure out a lot of different ways. There's many different ways you can skin a cat, and also like you got to go like with my personality. Everybody has their own personality, it's like your own fingerprint of how you trade. So the more you're involved in with the markets and the more you figure it out for yourself by taking the reps, doing the trades, you gotta see what your personality, your fingerprint, what it is. So yeah, long-winded answer there.
I like it. So you're talking
Yeah.
about being in tune with the market and, getting a job or not having your focus can throw you off course. You see these 22-year-old, 21-year-olds up in the $1 million mark last couple of years, and you set your life up so that you're gonna be on the track to do the same thing, if not a lot more. What does that mean?
Yeah, and like I can't put enough emphasis on this, but like no, this is what's disappointing about trading. Not disappointing, but like when I talk to someone, they want to hear about how much you made. Not like like what you just asked is so. I think that's like the golden nugget with me personally, how I was able to find a way to get good at this stuff and put myself in a position to get even better. So yeah, like I noticed 2016, all these younger guys were killing the markets. 2017, 18, And I was like, I need to get myself, it was pretty clear to me. Um, I needed to get back to like the when I was like in college, like with no stress. The bills didn't I wasn't worried about bills. I wasn't worried about relationships and and all these distractions that life gives you. Like when you're in college, Sam, what you went to Dartmouth, right? Is that where you went?
Um, I sort of claim that as my alma mater. But I actually went to University of Vermont.
From okay, okay.
Yeah,
So, but I mean, you went like in the campus and stuff, and you stayed in the dorms and
sure.
all that. It was a
The
nice
whole
life if you
the
think about it.
movie. Yeah.
Exactly. So like for trading, I think it's good. The way I saw it, like, I need to get myself in like where I had a meal plan and I had this. You just go to school and just go to the library, you drink your Starbucks with the meal plan money. Um, you go to the party in the weekend, and not a care in the world. I mean, you're like I remember I was talking to somebody that was in college still, and I was like, "Oh, have a good weekend," and it was a girl, and she rolled her eyes like, "Oh man, I'm like this weekend's gonna suck. I got a final on Monday. It's gonna suck. I gotta study." Like, and I'm like, man, this girl thinks it suck. I think at the time, like I was like tutoring and I was trying to get good at trading, and I was like tutoring and driving Uber and Postmates, trying to pay my bills so the landlord doesn't bang down the door trying to collect his money, and like I was always like I was a wreck, and this girl's complaining about her final on Monday. You know, so she's gonna go use her meal plan card in the at the cafe, eat a sundae and just relax and study and drink Starbucks. And she's complaining about like her life is gonna suck. She rolled her eyes. She's like, "Oh my god, like I got this final." So like anyway, that's that's the biggest problem she has as a 20-year-old, 21-year-old. So I can see why, like it was very clear to me. Okay, that's why Dux was able to put himself in a position to succeed. He was in college when he started to hit a million or whatever. Jack Kellogg was he was young. Yeah, I think he was in parking valet. That's different. Yeah, but all these guys, Huddy was in college. So like I was like, man, what am I doing? There's no way I'm gonna get successful if like I got all this craziness going on in my life. My life is a disaster. So yeah, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get this office space, which is crazy. This is the same exact office space. It's just transformed now. It was all bare walls before and like a little laptop. Now it's like a freaking podcast studio and trading room.
The
But
journey.
yeah, it's crazy the journey. It all comes full circle. And yeah, so I got a little office. I spent like 20 hours a day in this office. I have a couple podcasts on it with like one of the guys that was in there that was trying to do trading, Um because he saw me do it. He's like, "Oh man, this is a good idea. Let's do some trading." But like, you know how that is. It's like I go hard. I I was just 20 hours a day in there. So everyone thinks I'm crazy, but like and just making my life all about trading. I just gave up everything. All I did was trade, study trading, listen to audiobooks, podcasts. I barely at the time for a couple years, 2016, actually 2016 to 2018, I took a hiatus to get everything together. 2019, I finally came back and studied nonstop. I was sleeping in my office like with my head on the desk. That would I still would use the Fitbit to time all my sleeping. The minimal sleep, I would go by minimal sleep, and just all those videos of Tim Sykes where like people complain that a lot of people. It depends, For me, it was helpful, but a lot of people complain, oh, there's a lot of empty information. He's just uh promoting his businesses and that. And he does talk a lot of fluff. But I just put it on 1.5 speed and I would just listen to it. I was like, you know what? I'm coming from a place where I know absolutely nothing. Um, I was an architect, not anywhere near finance. I know zero. So this guy, I paid for his course. And definitely I'm a cheap guy, especially up until then, especially. I was like, I'm gonna get this. I want to if I pay for this course, damn well, I'm gonna watch every single thing or at least listen to it. So I would just listen to these things 24/7, and and I would yeah, I'll try small size and shit, man, it sucked, you know. But if you want to get something, if you want to do 50K a month and like or more, just like that's just the bottom. Like I think I was looking at Mike Spinoza, he made like 120 in a week last week. It's like damn, like what is it? It's all doable. It's the market, you know. But you got to get yourself in a position to succeed. And I've always been about that, you know. That's why I signed up for Trade Space in Puerto Rico, and I was like, the second I saw that, I was like, you know what? And I had made some money in the market, but I still didn't know as much about, especially intraday trading. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sign up for this. I'm gonna do a year in there, and I have confidence that like I'm gonna pick a lot of stuff up. I don't know what it is yet. I don't know who I'm gonna meet. And you know what's crazy with architecture school? I remember undergrad, um, one of my professors was like, oh, he's dead now, by the way. He died I think he died of COVID. It's like rest in peace, Michael Kunstel, Professor Kunstel. But he said, you know, you got to go. I was trying to go to Columbia, and he wrote me all the letters for there and everything, and I ended up not going there. I wanted to go to UCLA, you know? And he's like, you know what, whatever you choose, grad school is about like who you're gonna meet. You're gonna meet a lot of people there. You're gonna do business with your whole life, and the place you go to, imagine you're gonna spend like 10 years there. So that's how I approach grad school and approach grad school. But grad school, you know, it's crazy. I just didn't architecture and me kind of we didn't get along towards the end. You know, I wasn't about it. So like the contacts I met in there, they weren't life-changing contacts. Um, However, with trade space, that was different. So this is my calling. So when I was at trade space, I came already with all this knowledge and taste of success, and I was able to, and I started the podcast there, and just, you know, was really able to focus and hone on my skills and fill up the gaps in my knowledge from other people that are better at things that I'm not as good at, like fundamentals, for example, or intraday trading. So, you know, like it's crazy. Architecture didn't do that for me, but trading did. So now I have a whole network. It's crazy how much you can learn if you have the right people around you. You know what I'm saying? And Sam, you're one of those people too, because you're very good at like mathematics and data, and you know, and you pick up some things that I don't pick up. You know, so it's about having people like that. I think everybody should have that, have a little network like that of friends and people that are better at things that you're not as good at, and then you learn from that. Now you know it all of a sudden. You're better at it. So yeah, man.
So what have you learned from your network? Say, you know, a millionaire trader, let's call him Adam. What have you learned from Adam?
Yeah, Adam, that's a good question. Fundamentals. Oh, so Adam is Adam's an incredibly smart person. Um, his IQ is probably through the roof, but the way he, you know, sometimes he thinks like he's too smart for the market. Sometimes he thinks about everything. It has to make sense and all that. And that's the thing that, but eventually, like intelligence always wins at the end. At the end. So if you're able to stick around for the big move, then you will prosper at the end. But like temporarily, you might get squeezed or whatever. But the way he processes like a large, not the small floats. I've helped Adam stay away from the small floats. It's helped him out a lot. Like because his logic does not even work the tattest bit with the small floats, micro floats. But anyway, but like let's say a stock that's like 25 million or 50 million or a little bit more, not too big, but you know, he's able to like the news, able to understand the news and the fundamentals in a way that directly applies to the trade. And you know, and what the overall picture is of the bag holders and like what like right now ATER, we were talking about ATER, it's going up in the after hours with the momentum buyers that are if you look at Reddit, they're all talking about it, trying to get it to squeeze because it's a high short interest stock. And we're talking about it, and this is the way Adam processes it is like, okay, so the retail crowd is not as strong as it was in the past, like last year around this time. The stock has no news. Um, you know, it's already been diluted. The retail, what do you call it? And like the thing is with the micro cap, we are having this discussion. The micro cap, someone could buy up the float and cause a squeeze, and that's someone is like a has more power than the retail crowd. Like the retail crowd is trying to imitate the the whale, but the retail crowd is just it's a like a pile of garbage, you know. It's like little accounts, all these little guys trying to pile in, and you're trying to cause a squeeze. But those little guys, they can't control their emotions. They all panic out. They don't trust each other anymore. It's like it's almost like an army, like like of soldiers, like in the medieval times. You know, it's like everybody has to be in sync. If a couple of guys are not in sync, the whole thing is gonna fall apart. And last year with the meme stocks, those little medieval guys, they this is what I think of these retail people. And technically I'm retail too. So, but like like last year they were able to somehow finagle their way to like get the squeeze going because it was the first time in history it happened. But now that's already run its course. Like now, like and the market's kind of going down. If you look at the Nasdaq, the QQQ, or the SPY, it's not like straight zipping up anymore. It's a rocky territory. So like, and there's no stimulus money. There's a lot of things that have changed. So I have those conversations with Adam all the time, and it's really fun to talk to him. And I'm starting to like to think of it like that too. And as short sellers, it's really fun to talk about like, the company's a turd, and and like you got to put your spinner hat on to buy this thing, and versus like the sophisticated, I don't know what you call those things, hats. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a short seller talk, but yeah, I've learned a lot, and also like he's a trained analyst, so he went to school and all that, and like to see the process. It's like when I was in grad school writing a paper, it's like very concise, professional, and the way you do the summary of a short report in bullet points and then break it down and have to have damning evidence. And like to write a short report it takes you got to have, if you're writing, it's like these bag holders think it's like, oh, some guy just pulled it out of his ass. It's like that's not the case. It's just like because you got to have, you know to have a short report done, you got to have like really good evidence, because like, you can't just, unless you're trying to get yourself in trouble or something, So, um, yeah, to see that whole process go down, it's been cool. And what's funny is that when I first started trading and going through Tim Sykes back 2016, I got attracted to the pump and dump marketing stuff he used to do. I don't know if you've seen those, Sam. Have you seen those in YouTube and stuff? So and Michael Good. I was like, oh, this makes sense. I want to do this. But then when I joined the challenge, it's funny. Then you get direct access, so you can talk to everybody. They're like, oh yeah, that was 3 years ago, man. The market's changed. And I was like, oh fuck, man. Like that's what I signed up for. And I didn't realize the market was in cycles. You know what I mean? I thought the market was just the market. It's like, oh, pump and dumps. Let's do it. And he said, no, all those guys got arrested already. Now it's like it's gonna come back, but you're gonna have to wait. And I didn't understand that. And so the market, like that's what the main skill of a trader, I think, is just to be able to adapt. If you don't adapt, because I thought you just learn something and you're good for the rest of your life with that strategy. And that's that as a beginner. Um, and that's not the case. You got to keep just adapting and evolving. Trading is cool because like it forces you to get better with everything. I was talking to Kim Ann Curtin the other day, and she was saying how like if you're gonna be someone that's like she was coaching someone, and she's like, if you that person would like get road rage in traffic, if you're gonna get road rage in traffic, you shouldn't, it's not good for your trading. So but like when I was a beginner, um it was clear to me pretty quick when you have a couple losses, it's like, all right, man. And I used to get some road rage a little bit, so not that much, but a little bit. I would curse people out every now and then and stuff. Like you can't do that anymore. If you want to be a good trader, you gotta be composed, and it's like it forces you with everything in your life. That's another thing, like Wall Street, like Hollywood and stuff. they put the Wolf of Wall Street up and all that, and like the guys, that's because he's a scammer. He's living the life of a scammer, like this guy Zach Morris. He can do all the craziness because he's a scammer basically. You know, if you want to be a real trader, you gotta have everything cool, calm, under control. I saw like a YouTube video the other day. It has like 2 million people views on it, whatever. Like I'm not going for that. You know, like I've always been a like the market has all the money you need, man. Just go be the best at that. And I go back to the story of like I met John Henry, the owner of the Red Sox, when I was a kid. Snap. So like that's very inspiring for me. Like you can just go that route and just be a billionaire in the market. But anyway, I was looking at this YouTube video of this guy with 2 million views. He's like, that's what the people like to see. They like to see dollar signs of you made 50K or six figures, eight figures. And I get it, you know, I put it in the titles myself sometimes in the videos because I don't want, you know, I want to stay relevant in YouTube at least. I'm not going for commercial status. I want to stay relevant. Um, but this guy is like obese and like doing all these facial expressions and saying you want to make $1 million, you want to drive a Lambo and like being overly like emotional and like that's why he's getting the views. That is not trading at all. Like and like I'm not there. Like I, if I, were, it's tough to write like a short report on that because like you're not there. You don't have the evidence that like he's scamming. But like just by looking at the guy, if you're that obese, how are you gonna trade? You're eating all this bad stuff. You can't exercise. Like today, I've been in this office and everybody in Puerto Rico has seen me in trade space. I'm there at 3:30 in the morning and I leave like at 6 p.m., 7 p.m. And I love every minute of it, by the way. It's really hard to understand. It's like what this guy must hate his life. No, I love it. This stuff is like the biggest blessing that ever happened to me. And like the fact that I can actually make money the whole time, it's like a fucking bank machine, you know? It's like the whole for 12 hours, like fucking taking money out. It's fucking sick. But but yeah, you know, it's just I forgot where I was going with this. Oh yeah, the eating. So like even then when I'm there, I'm like, I gotta go outside and get some sun, some vitamin D. And I'll go outside and walk around the block and like I'm getting sun and like because I know that's gonna help my trading and being healthy. And then like I ordered vitamin D anyway. I'm taking vitamin D because like 5,000 milligrams, whatever it is, that was recommended. So I take that on top of it because I know I'm sitting, even though I'm in Puerto Rico, it's sunny as sunny everywhere. Like I'm still trading in this dark thing because like I have the chance to change my life. You know what I'm saying? Exponentially. So it's worth it, especially at this stage of my trading. So like like with Jack Kellogg. So knowing all the backstories, that's helped me tremendously. Like Jack Kellogg saying like he was unhealthy for a couple of years. I totally relate, man. Like this guy mastered the market. And like, yeah, it takes that. Even though I'm in
Yeah.
sunny Puerto Rico, it takes 12 hours a day, me being this mad scientist, figuring this out and like getting rewarded for it as I'm doing it. I got to keep going. This ball's got to keep rolling. But anyway, yeah, even in Puerto Rico, and then I'll still manage. I have the Fitbit on. I still try to get 3 to 5 miles of walking a day, keep my body moving. I do push-ups. I do 3 sets of 50 push-ups at minimum every day. So even though like, you know, it's like I know that's gonna help my trading. You know, and that's why I keep up with it religiously because I'm like I want to be the best trader I can be. So that's part of. So like when I see this obese guy talking about, I'm like, come on, man. It's like, what are you doing? Like, obese. I'm talking about like a line, like what do you call it, offensive lineman? You know, you know. It's like, and like people are watching this. Like you know, 2 million views. I don't know. It's like it goes like when I show my channel, I showed it to like a college friend of mine. I had to block him, by the way. Even to this day, I'm still like actively, if you're negative, I'm not talking to you. Like if this in the line, like you know, I had a roommate in college. Shout out to Antonio, and we were cool. You know, 10 years. This is 2009. I graduated, so a long relationship, man. Someone I went to college with from my hometown in Miami and all that. And you know, but like in college, you kind of as guys, you always joke around and like make fun of each other and stuff. And you know, and that's just college, right? And then we've kept up with each other. Like Antonio's very successful. He has a he had nuclear engineering degree, and he's making money. He has a kid now. He has a wife and all that. He owns multiple houses and stuff, and he's done well. But when I tell him what I'm doing, he's like, "Oh, you left architecture? What are you doing? You're trading now? Oh yeah, you're trading. You're not even like doubting every and like that's why I like to have my friends now. It's not by accident. All my friends now are mostly traders, because they understand the grind. They understand what's going on. So Antonio was like, "What are you doing trading this and that?" Oh, and then I said, "Yeah, check it out. I started this podcast, this YouTube." It was, "Oh, you only have 50 views, 100 views, 200 views," and like he doesn't know, like I'm not trying to go like the fat guy, the obese guy trying to get 2 million. Like I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a trader. Like I want to attract people. You know, I told this to Ali the other day. Ali Angel, another person I met, very very awesome. She has her SEC filing chat room and stuff. But yeah, her stuff is awesome. But and she puts out stuff too, and she's like, I don't want the people that are not going to study my stuff. I want the person that's dedicated. So though, and like it's like the same with me. Like if you're gonna having like I don't mind newbies listening to my podcast. It's not like I hate newbies. It's like I want someone with the right mindset, and like someone that's gonna be like a newbie that's like the way you did it, Sam. You're reaching out to, like, you don't need to sign up for the Tim Challenge. For sure. You already have all these contacts. You do all the work yourself. That's the newbies that I like. But you're not a newbie anymore. But like newbies, people that are in the same mindset as you. It's like a newbie that sees oh, David made 50K last month, and all of a sudden I'm getting a hit up, and like he doesn't understand what it took for me to get to that level and for me to keep increasing, because like I have not slowed down. I'm not slowing. I'm still putting in 20-hour days. I'm still sleeping. I cut my Fitbit down. I put the goal 5 hours.
So what
I do
about
two.
Reed? Maybe we can funnel the newbies to
Yeah.
Reed, right? Reed's trading on his phone. He turned 50K into 500K
Read is
last year.
abnormal, man. Read is
Like,
abnormal.
what have you learned from Reed?
That's a very good question. This is cool that you're asking this. So like Reed though, Reed is a guy that's is abnormal. This is, and what I mean by abnormal, not like weird or anything. This is a guy is like he he's like just he's great as with a lot of things. He's a great golfer, great businessman. He's excelled in everything he's ever touched. This is like Superman almost. You know what I'm saying? He has the confidence. Like he is like he could do anything he sets his mind to. Man, this guy. His dad was a NHL player. His going to be wife is a professional golfer. He did like professional golf. He excelled in golf at Michigan. Um, and so when he got in and he excelled in real estate, one of like the top realtors in his field. So like when he got into and now he's going like doing some other stuff. I'll reveal some other time. But so when you have someone that already has the mindset of like approaching trading like he did like with golf, like or like he was doing fitness or business, or he knew right away that this is a serious game, and you can't just make. Also, like he knew finance uh a lot more than most. He knows finance a lot more. He's in a better situation with understanding how finance works. Like he knows about the Nasdaq being up or down, like what the overall macro is doing, about China, about this. He understands finance like a lot more than the usual person. Like when I first met, I was like, man, is this guy knew how to trade before? What's going on here? But no, he was brand new, and like the thing is, he had still had like still the right mindset, the right approach, and the confidence. This guy has so much because he's excelled at everything, so it's like nothing is impossible for him. He doesn't doubt himself. This guy has rock solid, like he's gonna excel in anything he ever does. This is a guy you bet on, you know. You bet on Reed. So Reed is that guy, So like when I went there and he was trading on his phone, uh, I was like in my head, I'm like, man, this is a little too much. But eventually he's gonna get humbled. But like until then, but it's like you got to keep doing it until the wheels fall off. So I understood that because like that's what I was doing in 2020. I was like, man, I don't know that much, but this thing works, and I'm gonna keep doing it. This pre-market stuff. Wake up at 4 a.m. Here in the West Coast, it was 1 a.m. It wasn't a coincidence that I found out about the pre-market. Just like I was a night owl and the West Coast, 1 a.m. I mean, who sleeps at 1 a.m. all the time unless you work a 9 to 5 or something? So I was awake and I would see all these things pop up. I was like, you know what? Let me take a short on this. So and that's how it started. And then I was like, I don't even know how to trade intraday. I'm gonna get my ass kicked. I even tried. I got my ass kicked. And I'm like, 4 a.m. As long as it works, keep doing it. Like I kept sizing up so much. I didn't even understand like what kind of a position I had. I didn't know the margin requirements. I didn't know if like I was using leverage. I didn't know anything. I just knew, let me just size into this thing until I can't. That's what I was doing, and that's why I saw a read. I was like, all right, man, if he's doing something, it's working. This guy is killing the game, you know. So now I saw him. I was there. Like I was like, holy shit, this is like is 100% real. Like this is he's, but like sometimes it takes that oblivious mindset, you know, to be able to maximize those kind of things. And that's what happened like in 2020 with the meme stocks and like all the people that made money. Now they're getting punished. That stuff doesn't work anymore. You got to adapt. And and Reed got burned in a couple stocks later on, which is like, you know, like 5 months later, you know, so like I think that was good the way he did it. If you want to have a success like that and something works, you do it until it doesn't work anymore. The thing is that when it doesn't work anymore, you gotta manage the, you don't want to blow up. So Reed was humbled, and now he's more refined now, and you know he kept himself in the game, and like he had the right mindset. He's he's picked and like where he's gonna absorb so much knowledge as he goes every day. It's like every day with trading, especially the first couple years, if you're doing it right with the sizing and like doing your due diligence and studying and everything, you're gonna increase like 1-2% compound every day. And like by the end of a year, you're gonna look back actually like every 6 months, you're gonna look back and like, wow, man, like that David from 6 months ago, that guy, you know, this little kid, like, you know what I mean? So like now it starts to slow down. That's when you're able to size up and all that. But the first couple of years, it's gonna be like every 3-6 months, you look back, you're like, whoa, I was doing that. Like that's crazy. But Reed, he was always very good at everybody's personality, right? Going back to that personality thing, very good at scalping. Even, you know, like what he was doing then, he's still good at. He's actually better at it now. Um, Scalping, hawking, knowing like he put up a spreadsheet the other day tracking all the promoters and stuff. It's like that stuff I wouldn't have done. And now he's starting low key. He's starting to long them now. All the some of the promoters, but a very small size, just testing it out. But and then we don't include that in the bear talk because like longing some douchebag promoter and bear talk, it's like doesn't make any sense. It's gonna confuse everyone. So, but like no, he just has the right mentality and like he understands. He's very good. It's almost like a video gamer, but Reed doesn't play video games. Another thing, Reed, like think about it, like super. When I met Reed, he's like we went out to eat and like we eat very similar, like the low carb stuff and very healthy and all that, organic, whatever. It's every now when we can, and and he's like, oh, a dessert. You if you like dessert, and I was like, no, I don't really, I'm not interested in it's too much sugar. And and then he's like, I haven't eaten a dessert in 7 years. He was very proud. So like very strict kind of guy, but like very like that's why he's so good at scalping. Like it's almost like a hawk, like boom, 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 boom. So like he's good at that. So I and he's actually very, very nice and helpful. Like this guy's a great guy. So he was able to answer like all my what I had, all the questions I had with scalping, and so I implemented some of his strategies, you know. So like, and it's helped me, and it helped me get confidence to trade intraday, because like I was scared shitless of trading intraday. I was so scared because I was like, man, I made this much money in the pre-market. I don't want to give it back. I don't want to give this money back. I can't afford to, I'm still like building myself up, and but eventually the bird has to leave the nest and like figure out how to fly. In intraday, traders like I interviewed this guy Jay Trader yesterday in Italy. Well, he's in Italy, but he was saying like as traders we need volatility, and just volatility any kind. And it's true if you want to size up, because in the pre-market, I think there's a cap. And Michael Matthews, he says like the cap is like 20 grand, maybe 50 grand profit in a trade. But going over it with some of the other guys, like Adam and stuff, it's like, yeah, it's like pre-market, that is like, well, how often you're gonna get a 50 grand trade? Like the biggest trade I had in the pre-market, that was it was 8.5K. And that was like a hot week where I was doing like 3K, 4K, 5K. And this is a super early pre-market, not like the pre-market like 30 minutes before the market opens. That's different. That goes into intraday. I'm talking about super early. So like, I realized, man, pre-market is great. Like it still pays well. It's a big portion of my profits. I got to keep doing it. And that's why we're up early in the morning. You, me, and a couple of others, um, killing the game. But intraday is where all the money's at. So eventually you do got to leave the nest at when, I think I did it at the right time. I had enough capital where now I can trade. As a short seller, you need a cushion, so you can't just use your whole account all the time. A small account, you're gonna get burned. And also to trade like that, you're trading with fear that you're gonna get squeezed against. And you can't have that fear when you go in. You gotta have that confidence. That's one thing I learned from Reed too. Reed has no fear. Oh, well, now he's been tamed because of those losses, but like it's got him to refine his size and all that. But the guy, when he hits a trade, he's full confidence like no other. So great. Yes, I'm just, man. I love this new life that I've done, man. You should have seen David before trading. I was some friends that were iffy. When I used to hang out with my guys from Miami, everybody's making fun of each other, interested in what girls, and like nothing about business, nothing about money. What are you doing? Oh yeah, you're engineer, I'm architect, but we wouldn't, we'll just shoot the shit doing, like I don't know. This just doesn't appeal to me anymore. I want to reach that level. I've already even shown that the what the possibilities are with this. Yeah, I can. The possibility, you know, it is possible. I can be a Ray Dalio. I can be a John Henry, or what's that guy, Steve Cohen. It's possible if you do it right. It's this shit's scary, man. You can be a billionaire if you do it right. That's why like I see people selling courses and stuff. I don't even want to go. I don't want to waste my time. That's gonna take a lot of energy. And yeah, you can make 1 or 2 million a year, and you can have all this headache of uh 200 people bothering you every day for whatever reason, and you're gonna get annoyed. I know like that Mike Spinoza guy, like he gets annoyed, man, and like he used to be like, I'm only gonna do like 100 people in the room capped, and like I thought I was like, man, this guy knows he's doing it right. And now he has like 500 people in there, and you can tell he gets mad. uh in fact, I want to say here, because like I don't, the beauty is too, I can say whatever I want. I don't belong to anybody. I'm not getting paid. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm nothing. So but like he put a photo, and I looked up, I still look up to Mike a lot, but he put a photo of himself with these really short shorts, and I always like, I don't know, man, I always make fun of a little comment. It doesn't mean anything. Like I know that's the style now. In fact, I have some of those short shorts in Puerto Rico. I go to the beach with it, so I mean, I'm wearing it myself, and I put, oh man, the short's kind of short, and then he blocks me. I'm like, oh man, and like, so like you can tell he gets a lot of, and I've heard through the grapevine of some other people that have commented on his thing, is like he blocks them too. So this guy is getting annoyed by people. He's dealing, I don't know, like how can you trade like that if you're gonna be bothered by everybody? Not everybody. If you're gonna take things, because on the internet, you don't know if someone's being sarcastic. You don't know if someone really means you don't know the intentions, the voice tone, the facial expression. You don't know the way it was said. You're whatever you're feeling, you're gonna project it onto the whatever little mess DM that you got. If you're feeling stressed out, you're gonna now that DM is getting to you, even though it wasn't even intended like that. So and that's what I'm saying. Like if he were to cut that out, I think he could go like he made 120 grand the other week. He needs to focus on making that a million or something to go for billionaire status. I mean, that's what I would do. So and shout out to Mike. But
This might be a good place to, roll this up. I mean, I know newbies have a short attention span, so we don't want to lose them, right? So,
okay,
but it made me think, why be public at all, right? You're from
okay,
LA, you like to have your face out there, sure, people can say that, but why put your trades out there?
that's a good question.
Why interview other people?
That's a very, very good question. Yeah, I'm glad that you chose this for to finish it off. So like I was 3 years, 2016 to 2019, I barely had any social interaction. I went in full hermit mode. Literally, I could probably count the conversations I've had with people during that time period. And finally, I started to get some success. And like when everybody in 2020, everybody was making money. It's like, oh, if I told someone I'm trading, this is what I do. They're like, oh, I'm a trader too. And I'm like, damn, they don't really understand what I've done, like the amount of work. So I was like, you know what? Let me start. And when I moved to Puerto Rico, I was like, on the flight there, I thought about the podcast because I love podcasts, and I learned a lot from them. I was like, you know what? This would be good. I can meet other people. I didn't know where it was gonna go, and also like I can have this channel if and put myself out there. So if I can lead people to it, like if the conversation I had like with my mom, for example, the YouTube, if anything, is good to show my mom this, man. She loves the podcast. She's like, wow, David's actually talking to people. She doesn't know that like I'm talking like Jack Schwager and stuff, think about that. Or I'm talking to Hirsch Sheffrin, the behavioral finance guy, the guy with the glasses and all that's like talking like what mom doesn't like seeing her son talk to like this professor like guy. And so I wanted to put myself out there to get to I don't know, I'm a human being, man, so I want people to know that I'm doing well. You know what I'm saying? Um, that I'm doing well and I'm taking it serious, if anything, everything else is bonus. Meeting people, man. I talked to Jay Trader yesterday. Cool, freaking cool, dude. I plan on going to Italy sometime in the next year or so. I'm gonna visit Jay Trader. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be at some hedge fund conference in a couple weeks in Dubai. Like that's because of the podcast. So why put myself out there? Well, at first I thought of only doing every so often, and then when you enjoy something, I didn't know it was gonna be like this. You see people reacting very well to it. It's being well received. It's like so encouraging. How could I not do it? Like, and then I'm just having fun with it now. So and I'm learning, and like it's a tool to not only to learn, but like for so many other things. So why put myself out there? And the profits, yeah, it gives you credibility. And like it gives you like I'm on Kinfo now, like it updates, it's all verified stuff. It's like, yeah, I do have a 90% plus win rate and I'm making a good amount of money. That's abnormal. So how do I describe that to people? They're not gonna believe me. So like put it on Kinfo. All right, there's verified. Talk to Kinfo. So and like I have all my brokers listed there. I'm not leaving a broker out. That's there. That's all I got. So why put myself out there? It helps me sleep better at night knowing that people know I'm real, that my mom likes the podcast, that I'm making friends, that I'm on the path to be that's to be the best trader I can possibly be, to reach my full potential with trading.
Cool, man. Well,
Absolutely.
thanks a lot. And I'll see you tomorrow, just another
I'll see
day.
you, man. Another bright and early.